It is Chatham-Kent Cougars football and playoff football. We have made it to the semifinals. It's the Bantam squad against the Orangeville Outlaws here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. And at the 45-yard line, good job by the Cougars right off the kickoff as they're looking to further their playoff position here. They've made it to the postseason and the semis are underway.
Well, the Cougars get a turnover on the kickoff. And that's a big play to start this one off. The Cougars kicking off to the Orangeville Outlaws. They force the fumble and recover. Cougars go on offense first.
2-4 record in the regular season, so there's some hills and valleys through the regular season for these Bantam Cougars, but a nice run here in the postseason and a home playoff game in the sunshine, as they have the first offensive possession of this game against Orangeville, and a great position on the field at the 45-yard line. On 1st and 10, they hand it off, and a quick fumble, but a nice recovery by the running back, and a swarm of Orangeville Outlaws bring down the running back, Colton Van Dusen, on the assignment there. He gets close to 3 yards, I think, on that 1st and 10 assignment, so what could have been bit of a disaster on the opening play, he recovers nicely.
Well, Van Dusen, boy, was he ever calm there, dropping the football, and it was almost like he just dropped a little loaf of bread and just scooped it right back up and didn't even miss a beat.
3-yard pickup comes up to the 42-yard line of Orangeville. And once again, they'll go to the ground, and once again, the ball comes out, and this is going to be a turnover this time. And turned over to Orangeville right there to pounce on it was number 80, Tanner McLean of the Outlaws, and a couple of fumbles, one of them a turnover. And now the football belongs to Orangeville in a scoreless football game early on.
I'll be honest, I wasn't even sure that. Okay. It was. They're going to call it offside on the Cougars. There was a penalty, but it was against the Cougars, so that play will stand. But I honestly thought the running back was maybe down before the ball came loose, but the official's saying differently. So that ball goes back to Orangeville, as you mentioned, Mike.
Nobody's ever had fun being quiet. I just want to say that.
So now the Outlaws with it at 47-yard line. Still in their own territory very early on here in this semifinal game. In a scoreless tie. Now conversation going on at the front line of Orangeville. And certainly the Outlaws have the size of the offensive line. High snap brought down by the quarterback, and now they hand it off. A running play on 1st and 10, and they get about 3 yards. As Aiden Pryor, number 4, quarterback for the Orangeville Outlaws, starting off this one under center for Orangeville.
Carson Pedri with the run there. But good job of that Cougars defensive front. Just a short gain there, maybe 3 yards.
Once again, they try a running play up the middle. This time, not a lot of room. They might have actually dropped a yard. 1 yard loss, so it comes backwards a bit. So now 3rd down and about 8 for Orangeville. Good job on D there for the Cougars.
Yeah, Logan Stevenson, number 3, in on that tackle that time. Stevenson playing along that defensive line.
Now a high snap over Pryor's head. He has to scramble back, and he plays it safe. He just hops on that football all the way back to the 40-yard line. So some miscues early on for both sides on offense. And this one comes close to the 40-yard line. So that's a big drop here for Orangeville. And a break here for the Cougars as they're going to get the football back here.
Good defense there by the Cougars after the turnover. Good job on D. Get that ball back to the offense. Orangeville going to line up to kick. Now those Orangeville jerseys, I don't know. Not quite the Broncos colors, are they? I'm a little bit
like the
colorblind.
1980s Broncos. No, they're more red. They Remind me of the BC Lions, actually.
Oh, that's a good call, yeah.
Kind of an orangey BC Lions look.
Yeah. I think you're right. I agree with that.
And now the ball comes close to midfield, not even to midfield. Off the kick for Orangeville. And this is going to set up really good field position, all things considered here for the Chatham-Kent Cougars. They will remain in Orangeville territory at around the 53-yard line. So the kick went pretty high in the air, but not very much in terms of distance. And the Cougars will try and have a better offensive run here than they did the first go-around.
Yeah, the officials blowing that one dead for player safety reasons because, like you mentioned, Mike, it was a high kick but a very short kick. So they don't want to see anybody get hurt. Those types of plays they blow dead, and the Cougars get it in great field position here.
Last series of plays, a couple of fumbles. One was recovered by Chatham-Kent. The other one turned over. So we'll see if there's a little smoother transition between the players here on this series. 1st and 10 near midfield for the Cougars. Once again, they leave it on the ground. Nice little cut along that left side on the ground for the Cougars. And a nice gain. Still on his feet. He gets away from a couple of would-be tacklers. Finally brought down. But what a great run by Colton Van Dusen. He was not easily brought down. Looked like after an initial gain of over 10 yards, he was going to get brought down, but then he kicked it into second gear and got a lot more than that. So Van Dusen with an amazing run there for Chatham-Kent.
Nice spin move by Van Dusen. The defender grabbed at the football and tried to rip it out of Van Dusen's hands. He pulled the spin move and just kept those legs churning, picking up probably another 20 yards there after contact. I think, Mike, beautiful run by Van Dusen.
All things told, all the way up to the 23-yard line of Orangeville. So a massive run there by Van Dusen and a great field position here. Another set of downs for the Cougars, 1st and 10. And now here comes a flag, and to the end zone they go. That one thrown way over top of the intended receiver. Quarterback for the Cougars, Cole Murphy-Myers, number 23. He got a lot on that throw.
Murphy-Myers on that throw.
But way overthrown. But we'll see what the flag is here. That might have been a free play for Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, it was a good-looking ball from Murphy-Myers. Just, as you said, Mike, a little bit long, intended for number 88 there towards the back of the end zone, Fisher Emmerich. It's going to be offside on the Cougars. Yeah, a flag came out on the far side of the football field.
Well, football fans, let's get it out of here. Oh.
Murphy-Myers takes the snap. Now he stuffs it in the running back's chest. Not a whole lot there, however. On the ground. Looks like maybe a 2-yard pickup. So 3rd and 8 coming up here for the Cougars.
Yeah, Cole Kestelin with the carry that time. First carry of this football game for Cole. They bring him in motion down across the front of the quarterback, trying to get a block on the outside, but not a lot of room there. Good defense from the Outlaws. Bring up a key 3rd down here for the Cougars as they got a bit of a drive going here, looking to keep some momentum going.
3rd down, this is a key play here. 3rd down and 8 for the Cougars. Still a scoreless football game in this semifinal against Orangeville here in Chatham-Kent. Looks time they're looking to go to the air. Murphy-Myers in a whole bunch of trouble, unable to get it away. And that is a massive sack for Orangeville. And looks like Tyler White Chantry, number 57, with that big sack. Lots of yards dropped there. White Chantry didn't have a lot of trouble getting back to the quarterback and bringing him down.
Yeah, that's a shame. Cole Murphy-Myers looking downfield, trying to find a receiver, and just not a lot of time there. Number 57 in his face very quickly, and unfortunately forced to swallow it with a big loss of yardage. Although, just wondering about the spot here. I'm not sure if there was a flag on that play. It must have been, because
they're
marching that towards Orangeville.
And let's see, are they going to make it a first down? Yes, they are. Wow, I didn't see what the flag was.
Let's hear the noise from the boys.
I didn't see the flag, but obviously it went against boys from Orangeville, and it was a fairly significant flag because here the Cougars are the 1st and 10. Big break here for Chatham-Kent. Here is Murphy Myers looking back to throw once again. He gets the ball away in the air to that end zone, and it is knocked down. Looked like it was close to being intercepted there by the Orangeville Outlaws, but fortunately for the Cougars, it drops to the turf. It incomplete. So 2nd and 10 coming up here for Chatham-Kent. Kind of a risky pass there from Murphy Myers.
Yeah, Orangeville, good defense there. It looked like, as you mentioned, looked like a defender maybe got both hands on it, just wasn't able to squeeze it and pull it in for the interception. But yeah, the Cougars get away with one there on 1st down. I kind of like the thought process, though. You got the momentum, you got a penalty, you're in red zone territory. You kind of go for the jugular there.
And not used to maybe seeing a passing play very often in this game so far. Out of the gun formation once again is Murphy Myers. And here they will hand it off to the running back. And nice job to get around that first tackle chance. On the second chance, a few positive yards here for the Cougars along that far sideline. And on 2nd and 10, looks like, trying to see how much they picked up. Probably about 8 yards, I think. Close to 9 yards. That was an impressive run there for the Cougars. Hard to kind of see from that angle, far side of the field. And actually, they're going to give them the 1st down. They have changed it to a 1st down, so they got the required amount of yards to get a fresh set here. And they're right on the doorstep, almost up to the goal line. Great run by the Cougars.
Yeah, nice run there by Van Dusen. Good head of steam when he took that ball and just showed you that speed that he's got to get to the corner. Got outside, and good chunk yardage there for the 1st down.
So right on the doorstep. Here's Murphy Myers. He drops the football, gets it back, however, now hands it off, but nowhere to go for Van Dusen. Bit of a disadvantage there after that fumble, so the defense had some extra time and nowhere to go for Van Dusen. Right on the doorstep from the 1-yard line. So he drops back to Piers around the 5. So still a 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. Quite manageable, but kind of unfortunate play there, and another drop for the Cougars on offense.
Yet fortunate that they didn't lose possession of the football, so kind of a double-edged sword there for the Cougars. But, yeah, that's not what you want to see on 2nd down when you're knocking on the door. Or, sorry, on 1st down.
2nd goal from the 5, and this one is blown dead before the snap. Looks like some early movement you'd figure against the Cougars.
Yeah, certainly not what you want to see either. Consecutive plays like that for the Cougars when they're in the shadows of the goal line.
So this will continue to make it a little bit tougher now for the Cougars on offense. Getting so close up to the 1-yard line on 1st and goal, and now they'll find themselves around the 10 after that false start. Now they're marching it the other way.
Well, it's against Orangeville apparently.
I guess they moved early. I would have suspected because they blew it dead that quickly. So usually that's a penalty against the offense. But it went the other way. So, in fact, that's another gift here for the Cougars. Very close to the goal line from around the 2. 2nd and goal for Chatham-Kent in a scoreless game. Murphy Myers back to pass, looking into the end zone. It is up. And I think it hit the uprights. Yeah, it's like I was looking into the end zone for a receiver, and it never arrived. So that's one of those tough ones where it hits the uprights.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Again, surprising that the Cougars go for it there, go to the air on 2nd and short, 2nd and goal, short yardage. But maybe you catch Orangeville on their heels.
Okay, Cougar fans, football fans, let's make some noise.
See if it's Van Dusen time here on the ground for the Cougars. He's had a couple of very good runs here this first quarter, so we'll keep an eye on what they do. 3rd and goal for the Cougars. Murphy Myers awaits the football, awaits the snap, gets it. And now he does hand it off. Nice little cut around to the right side, into the end zone. Touchdown, Cougars. It is Van Dusen with the major score. There goes the Cougar flag. And it is 6 points for Chatham-Kent. They make good on this drive. It's 6-0 for Chatham-Kent as they cap off. Really an impressive drive on offense.
Nicely done there, Colton Van Dusen into the end zone for the major, and credit to him. A lot of the yardage on that drive thanks to the running of number 9. Good job by the Cougars. First ones on the board in this semifinal playoff matchup.
Colton Van Dusen, he had a massive run really to start off that drive. And as Mike mentioned, that really sets up that play in close. That goal-to-goal drive there for the Cougars. And it is Van Dusen who punches it in for 6. And now the Cougars looking to add on here with some points after in this semifinal game on their home turf. Good start here for Chatham-Kent. 2:35 remaining on the clock. The kick is up, but it is wide. And it is no good. So 6 points it will remain for the Cougars and a 6-0 lead still in this first quarter in Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, Carlos Matos with the attempt there. The extra point for the Cougars. Unclear if somebody got the hand on it or if it was just a bit of a miss on that kick. But nonetheless, as you mentioned, Mike, the Cougars lead at 6-0 on this beautiful evening in Chatham-Kent.
Great weekend for our Civic Holiday weekend. Hope it's been a good one for you. But, yeah, the weather's been fantastic all around. And a couple of classes of the Cougars able to get some postseason action here in the 2022 season. And looks like a couple of the classes, the varsity boys and here with the Bantams, they're kind of gaining steam as the season has progressed.
Right, we got the Orangeville Outlaws here today. Make some noise, everybody, and welcome them here. There you go, Orangeville. Orangeville's bringing the noise today.
Off the touchdown, the Cougars kick it away, fielded cleanly by Orangeville, and now around the 40-yard line. Just outside the 40 is where the Orangeville Outlaws will take over on this next offensive possession. They've got some catching up to do now. Nice touchdown drive for the Cougars, up 6-0.
Looked like it was Finn Reeb there, number 19, with the special teams tackle for Chatham-Kent. Nice job there, good fit tackle. Wrap those legs, drive them back. Second offensive possession for Orangeville.
And 2.5 minutes to go in this opening quarter. And some early movement, and there goes the flag. Looks like this is going to come against Chatham-Kent on defense. And a good job on D there for the Cougars to bring down the quarterback behind the line, but I think there was some early movement that's going to penalize the Cougars here. We'll find out for sure.
I believe that was big number 2 that got back there, Jude Sherborne, to make that tackle in the backfield. But as you mentioned, penalty going against the Cougars, so likely the reason Sherborne able to get back there so quickly.
Yeah, that good defensive play all for naught. So 1st and 5 now for Orangeville off of that penalty against the Cougars. They will go to the air this time, and it is knocked down. Good job right up the middle by the Cougars. Looking to get a hand on it. I think that was Hunter Stover who got a mid on that football and knocked it down to the turf. So good job on D to read that one.
Yeah, good job there by the Cougars. Looked like that was triple coverage there in the middle. Orangeville lucky to get away with that one, actually, just falling incomplete. Good job on defense by Chatham-Kent.
Cougars trying to hold the Outlaws at bay after the touchdown drive for Chatham-Kent. On 2nd and 5, they will have it on the ground, and this will be a first down run and more up to midfield. Good second effort and a good run there for Orangeville.
Orangeville's working out there.
And it looked like, I think that was number 43 on the carry, is Carson Pedri, Lucas Carson Pedri, with the carry for Orangeville.
Lucas from the Orangeville.
Wyatt Cross with the tackle there for the Cougars at the end of that run, but that's after the first down for the Outlaws.
Up to midfield. First and 10 for Orangeville. Good job by the Cougars D to get back in the backfield and bring down the QB. It is a sack for the Cougars, and right when they needed it, all the way back to, behind the 50-yard line. So that is a drop of at least 5 yards on the sack for the Cougars. Good job, good penetration by the defense for Chatham-Kent.
Jude Sherborne again getting into the backfield. You remember the flag came out a couple plays ago. He was the first one there. This time, no flag, great result.
Second and about 15 here for Orangeville. They go on the ground, and again, a good job by the Cougar defense to stymie the running back, and he doesn't make it as far as the line of scrimmage, so another drop in yards. This will bring up third down and a long way here for the Orangeville Outlaws, down to Chatham-Kent 6-0. All facets of the Cougars game very early on working here in this first quarter as they lead this semifinal game 6-0. Third and a long way to go here for Orangeville. And once again, they'll leave it on the ground. And again, right up to the line of scrimmage, but no further as the Cougars D doing a wonderful job.
This just flew out the window.
And I think once again that was Carson Pedri on that assignment, but he doesn't get anywhere thanks to the Cougars defense. So fourth down and a long way, so Chatham-Kent getting the football back again.
Nice job by Carlos Matos. Good sure tackle there to get the Cougars this football back.
Nice high kick, some distance to it again, fielded by the Cougars, and a no yards flag comes flying out. Good hit there by Orangeville, but Cougars hang on to the football, and I believe a no yards penalty will help out the field position for Chatham-Kent here.
Yeah, good job by Finn Reeb to hold on to that football, knowing that pressure was likely coming. It was, as you mentioned, a nice hit by Colton Henry, big number 94 for Orangeville, but it does come with a flag, and the Cougars will take the free yardage, tack it on to the end of that return. And good field position again for the Cougars, coming off that last offensive possession where they put 6 on the board.
And it looks like this will be the final play of the first quarter here for the Cougars. Very good quarter, as you mentioned, Mike, in this semifinal game. Still lots of football left to go, but we'll see if the Cougars on offense can ride this wave, keep the momentum going from close to midfield. Out of the shotgun formation, they'll hand it off. Van Dusen once again getting around one would-be tackler. He'll get to the 50, and now does it come loose along that far side? Hard to tell from along that far, and I think it does come out, and it's a turnover. It's a turnover.
Yeah, it was recovered there by Evan McEwen for Orangeville. Van Dusen.
Evan McEwen right there?
Evan McEwen grabbed that football as Van Dusen was running by, pulled it out, and forced that fumble.
So unfortunate couple of plays here in this first quarter for the Cougars and unable to hang on to the football, turning it over. And that is another case of it right there as we're going to head into the second quarter. Teams will switch sides, and the Orangeville Outlaws will have the football back once again. It's 6-0 for the Cougars after one quarter. Cougars defense looking to try and bail out the offense with another turnover. And look at that. First job on defense. The Cougars coming up huge with a big sack. Great job by number 10 for the Cougars on D. That's Wyatt Cross. And he will get a big loss here for the Outlaws. So coming right out of the gate here, the defense doing a big play there to try and bail out the offense after a couple of lost fumbles in this game.
Yeah, the Cougars D is fired up. I like it. Carlos Matos, 21 for the Cougars, was the first one in there to slow down the running back, Henry. And then, as you mentioned, Mike, Cross comes in to clean it up. Beautiful job by that D.
Matos is certainly making his presence known in this football game early on. Now a pass play, and it's caught. A reception for a first down. Big play on offense. What a nice passing play there. Number 33 bringing it in for the Orangeville Outlaws. That was a beauty on second and a long way to go. They make up that sack yardage and more. They'll move the chains. 1st and 10 coming up here for Orangeville. So that's really the first big passing play that we've seen completed for Orangeville in this game.
Yeah, that's right. First completed pass, I think, of this entire game so far. Big one there for the Outlaws.
They try to feed off that momentum. This time they'll go to the ground right up the middle and some big yards on 1st and 10. For 94 that time, Jake Henry on the running assignment. And he gets close to 6 yards on that run. So 2nd and 4 coming up here. So now some big momentum here for Orangeville as they try to get back in this football game down 6-0 and take advantage of the lost fumble by the Cougars to turn it over to Orangeville. Doing a good job so far. Yeah, they're nicely into Cougar territory here.
Yeah, it was a nice job by Matos coming up to make that tackle on Big 94. As you mentioned, Henry, who's down on a knee right now, just being tended to by the trainer. So hopefully it's nothing serious. Henry is certainly running the ball strong for Orangeville.
Hey, hey.
Second down for the Outlaws, and good job here by the Cougars defense to wrap up the running back to get minimal gain, and that pretty much comes right back to the line of scrimmage. So 3rd down, maybe a yard pickup. So there's still about 3rd and 4 yards to pick up here. So good play on defense for the Cougars.
Nice job, Cole Kestelin coming in to make that tackle for not much of a gain, and big 3rd down here for Orangeville.
Seen Kestelin with a couple of plays on both sides of the football early in this game. 3rd down here for Orangeville, trying to get out of trouble, and can they wrap them up? Yes, they can, to the 40-yard line, a drop of a couple, maybe 3 yards. He just couldn't find anybody open down the field, giving the Cougars defense lots of time to converge on the quarterback. And down went Aiden Pryor, the QB for the Outlaws, and another 4th down is coming up. So good job by the Cougars on defense to again bail out the offense on a lost fumble, which led to this possession for the Outlaws. So now they'll have to kick it away on 4th and about 6 to go.
Well, looks like
or will they?
Yeah, well, that's just it. It looks like they're going to go for it here, Mike.
All right, well, up at the 40-yard line of the Cougars. 4th down. They go on the ground, and good job by the Cougars D to wrap up the running back and take the football back. Valiant effort by Carson Pedri on the 4th down running assignment, but he just couldn't penetrate through that CK defense. And so the Cougars will take the football back at their own 39-yard line. So give credit to the Outlaws. They had decent field position on that 4th down, so it was worth a try. But the Cougars defense able to rise and, again, bail out the offense that turned the football over.
I thought maybe we'd see Orangeville go to the air there. We saw a completed pass a little bit earlier in that drive, and big 4th down, and it was not short yardage. Thought they might go to the air, but especially with Henry shaken up on the sidelines. But they elected to run that football, and credit to the Cougars defense coming up with that stop and getting the ball back to the O.
8 minutes to go in the first half. Still a 6-0 game in favor of the Cougars. They have the football back at around their own 40-yard line, and the handoff is now blown dead. It's a flag seemingly against the Cougars. It was going to be a handoff to Colton Van Dusen, but it looks like the football is coming back 5 yards. off the 5-yard penalty against the Cougars. 1st and 15. Looks like they'll get that penalty yardage back on the ground. And about a second and 9 coming up. So no, they go right to the line of scrimmage, the original line of scrimmage. The 2nd and 10 is coming up after a 5-yard pickup on the ground.
I'd be interested to see the Orangeville turnover numbers on defense, because so far in this football game, they continue to attack the football when the running backs got the football. They're looking to strip the ball away. They've already caused a couple fumbles here. And that time again on that tackle, Van Dusen forced to hold on to that football carefully, because the Orangeville Outlaws are certainly attacking that football.
2nd and 10 for the Cougars. Close to their own 40-yard line. And another handoff on the ground. Now second effort, big time here for the Cougars at the 50-yard line. That will be a first down and more for the Cougars as Joshua Waterman able to kick it into high gear in the second effort. And Waterman with the run to move the chains. 1st and 10 now up to the 50-yard line of the Cougars.
The rare handoff to the fullback. The up man gets the carry up the middle, and Waterman impressing me there. Looked like he was going to be stopped in the middle of that pile, but found a hole and bounced out of it. Nice run, gets a first down for that Cougars offense.
Under 6 to go in this first half. And again, a flag comes flying out against the Cougars. And a time count violation against the Cougars. So they took their time, and it took a little bit too much time there for the Cougars. And they get penalized 5 yards. So that's a tough one. You don't see very much that happening on this level of football.
No, that's correct. Nonetheless, Cougars going to have to overcome it.
1st and 15 here for Chatham-Kent. Once again, they go to the ground and trying to fight his way to the 50-yard line. He'll get pretty close.
Van Dusen with the carry again.
Van Dusen again. Sorry, Michael. So, again, close to the original line of scrimmage as he picks up about 4 on that run. So 2nd down and 11 coming up once again. And getting the lion's share of the carries is Van Dusen in this football game. 5:25 to go in the first half. 6-0 Cougars with the lead.
The lion's share or the Cougars' share?
Well done. Well done. It's the pun corner with Mike James.
Let's hear the cowbell, Cougars.
2nd and 11. And this time they'll leave it on the ground once again. This time past the 50-yard line. And it looks like that was Judah Fitch who got the assignment, number 6. And swallowed up on that far side of the field. It gets a little bit of a gain there, but still this is going to be a sizable 3rd down assignment for the Cougars from midfield.
Yeah, they bring Fitch across the formation to take that handoff. And, we got a Cougar shaken up there, slowly coming off the football field. Looks like that's number 33 for the Cougars, Cooper Goudreau.
Cougar football.
Plays wide receiver and running back. So Goudreau shaking up.
To check to be up here, I'll make sure it gets to you soon.
Third down and 9 for the Cougars. Clock back running at 4:34 to go in the first half. 6-0 for Chatham-Kent, and again some early movement along that far side. Looks like one of the Cougars was early to move. We'll see what the final call is here.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. I think the Cougars were a little bit quick to jump on that snap, and this is going to cost them 5 yards.
Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex here today.
Penalties piling up against the Cougars. 3rd and 15, and they go to the ground. We'll get some positive yards, trying to fight his way to the 50-yard line. That's all he's going to get. So 4th and 10 coming up here for the Cougars. And that is Cole Kesselin once again with the assignment. So Kesselin with a few touches on both sides of the football so far in this first half.
Yeah, Kesselin, good hard running there up on the inside.
Here we go, Cougars.
.340 to go in the first half. The Outlaws with the football. And good job by the Cougars defense. That is number 2, Jude Sherborne with a big sack. And at least a 10-yard sack by Sherborne. After the Cougars a few minutes ago went for it on 4th down, couldn't convert. And right there to pick him back up is the defense for Chatham-Kent. And second and a long way coming up here for the visitors from Orangeville.
Hunter Stover in there, number 7 for the Cougars, also to help out on that sack. But Jude Sherborne is having himself a day. Boy, Orangeville is going to want to pay attention to big number 2. That's, I believe, his 3rd sack already this half.
And again, some early movement. Flag comes flying out on 2nd down. We'll see which way this goes. Couldn't tell if it was quick movement for Orangeville. We'll get the call here, but 2nd and about 16 going into that last play. So this will bring us into 2nd and 20 territory here for Orangeville.
In the stands too. We know you're out there. You drove a long way to say hi to us today. Come on.
Off the penalty, 2nd and 20 here for Orangeville. Again, the Cougars defense trying to swarm the running back, and they do. This is another giant drop in yards for Orangeville. And Jake Henry again on the running assignment, and he just had no where to go. Great job on the D for the Cougars. Henry dropped for a whole bunch of yards. So now third down and a long, long way coming up here for Orangeville on offense.
Boy, the Cougars defense is just teeing off right now. Jude Sherborne, no surprise, gets pressure, flushes the pocket, then Cross and Matos combined for the sack. It's a beautiful thing out there right now. The Cougars D is fired up, playing with great intensity in this playoff matchup.
Predictably, they go to the air and almost picked off by the Cougars, but it falls incomplete. Valiant effort there by Ethan Johnson, 32, who knocks it down. Almost had the INT. But this will move it to fourth down now. Fourth down, and I don't even know how long that is for the first down marker, but it looks like half the football field almost.
Yeah, you might want to buy a ticket and get on a flight. However, you'd be delayed at that airport for 4 or 5 hours.
It's quicker to drive no matter where. And they kick it away. Nice line drive kick, fielded cleanly by the Cougars. And now the run back going kind of lateral to the near side of the football field and turning away from a couple of would-be tacklers. A hard one to bring down was Finn Reeb, number 19 for the Cougars. He did a great job on the return. That was about 30 seconds where he had that football and he wasn't brought down. So good return for Reeb right at midfield. And the Cougars trying to add to their lead here, up 6-0 in this semifinal game with 2:05 to go until halftime. So this would be really a big offensive string here for the Cougars. If they're able to add on to this lead, they'll feel good about themselves heading into halftime.
As much as I want to say the Cougars, I felt like, have controlled this football game for the most part, they're still only up 6-0. You know, it feels like they should have more points on the board, but credit to Orangeville. Bend but don't break D. And like you said, Cougars, this would be big if they could add to that lead.
And they'll keep it on the ground once again on 1st and 10 right up the middle. And again, it is Colton Van Dusen who has had a lot of carries so far. He gets close to 5 yards. Second down coming up close to the 50-yard line for Chatham-Kent. Second down again, the ball goes to the turf, but picked up again. But in that split second where the ball hits the turf, that gave the defense some time. And down goes Cole Murphy-Myers, so a sack against Chatham-Kent. So again, it's hang on to that football. And even if you drop that half second, that's a world of time for the defense, and that's what happened there again for the Cougars.
Yeah, well, at quarterback, too, you have to drop your eyes from the coverage down to the ground to pick up the ball, regain your composure, find your receivers again. That's too much time for a defense. You don't have time for it. Unfortunately, Cole Murphy-Myers forced to take the sack.
1:20 to go in the second quarter. 6-0 Cougars. A long way to go on third down. And they will go to the air. Here's Murphy-Myers. He goes down the middle and almost a completed pass intended for Judah Fitch. And that goes off his fingertips.
Oh, not interception, sorry.
So fourth down and a long way coming up here for Chatham-Kent. Good valiant effort on the air there, in the air for the Cougars in offense, though.
Yeah, it was Fitch, as you mentioned, went up to get that football. Nice job by Orangeville's defense, though, with the hit. Great timing on the hit, knocked that ball loose. Good attempt there by Fitch to pull it in, but as you mentioned, just couldn't squeeze it because of that good defense, and it's going to be Fitch back there to kick this one away.
And Murphy-Myers got a lot of zip on that throw, too. Just didn't work out. Fourth down, they punt it away, and it is fielded cleanly here by Orangeville, and now big number 94 with the run back. He's got some room down that far sideline. He might go the distance, and he will into the end zone. It is a touchdown for Jake Henry, number 94. And now this turns the football game on its ear. It's now a 6-6 tie in the blink of an eye. A run back for a touchdown off the punt. And we are all tied up. And an extra point coming up could give Orangeville the lead late in this first half.
Boy, Henry absolutely ran over the very first Cougar defender that was there to meet him. And then after that, it was just a clear lane to the house down that far side of the football field. And that's how quickly a football game can change. We were just talking about it. The Cougars seem to have control of this first half, but led only 6-0. You know, just 10 seconds later, it's 6-6. And it could be that Orangeville puts the extra point up and has their first lead of this football game.
Max Hockmeister with the kick attempt here to put his team up, at least the chance to do it. 6-6 tie. Jake Henry with an amazing run back from the punt. And it's a brand new football game late in this first half. Hockmeister with the kick. It is up and it is good. And now the Outlaws take the lead for the first time in this game. It's a 7-6 score with about 52 seconds to go in the second quarter.
What a momentum swing that is. Just like that, special teams. The big punt return for a touchdown by Henry. And, boy, you wouldn't have thought it, but Orangeville right now sitting in the driver's seat with a 7-6 lead. And that's despite the Cougars racking up all kinds of yards on the ground in this first half.
And you mentioned in this first half, it looked, the Cougars just felt like they were up a lot more than 6-0. And that lead felt really, really tenuous the entire time they had it. And one play can change it very, very quickly. So Cougars are going to have to certainly clean up the turnovers and hanging on to the football a lot more cleanly than they have so far in this game.
Well, and that can be a little demoralizing for a team that feels like they're really taking control. And then now, just before the half, they're kind of reeling a little bit, trailing 7-6 when it just doesn't feel like that's where this game should be.
Kickoff to the Cougars. Hits the turf, picked up. And here they come up to the 40-yard line. That's as far as they're going to get. That's where they will take over for this drive here on offense. Last-ditch effort to get some more points on the board before halftime. Now a 7-6 lead for Orangeville.
Fisher Emmerich with the return there. Took a pretty good shot at the end. Was taken down. Good job holding on to that football. And, yeah, you'd like to see the Cougars offense maybe open it up here a little bit. Maybe try to get something going, get some momentum here. 47 seconds left when it just seemed like they had all the momentum in this football game. Now it's quickly shifted over to Orangeville.
From their own 37. And they will try to go to the air on 1st and 10. It's a completed pass, short little dump pass. And nice little yards after the catch to the 50-yard line and beyond. Second effort past midfield. And still on his feet. Finally brought down past the 50. Looked like that play ran in 3 different sections.
Number 9 for the Cougars, who's that?
And past the 50-yard line with 32 seconds to go.
Bolton, look at that man run.
Van Dusen, what a run by Van Dusen, big number 9. We've seen him do that a couple times so far in this first half. Just when you think he's going to be dragged down, he just keeps those legs churning and gets those extra yards at the end. Great finisher. And Cougars maybe could get something going here. 32.6 seconds left. Looks like we got a timeout on the field. They want to talk about what they want to do here with some time on the clock before the half.
Van Dusen all the way to the 46. It's a 7-6 lead for the Orangeville Outlaws. Half-minute left to go, but still plenty of time for the Cougars to get to more points on the board before halftime. Cougars with a half minute to go until halftime, down by a point. And look at this, right off the direct snap, near side 20-yard line. Great run by Van Dusen as he got the direct snap and took it to the near side of the field. Nobody here. And all the way down to the 20-yard line, and still 26 seconds to go in the second quarter. And we don't see that play too often, and that certainly worked for the Cougars there.
That's the time to pull out your trick play. You've probably been working on it all season long. You just line up Van Dusen behind the center shotgun. You put everybody else on the far side of the football field, confuse Orangeville, and then you use Van Dusen's speed and some open space, and he does the rest. Beautiful, beautiful design there. Great job by the coaching staff getting the squad ready with that trick play.
Cougars find themselves at the 20-yard line, 26 seconds to go in the second half. Back to pass near side, and that was a short pass and incomplete.
Intended for Finn Reeb. Short hopper into Reeb. He had no chance to grab that.
So that does stop the clock. 22 seconds to go. Ball still at the 20-yard line. 2nd and 10 coming up here for the Cougars. But as you mentioned, trying to open things up a bit on offense, they seem like they're more confident in throwing the football now. Murphy Myers, quarterback once again. This time again, he's going to hand it off to the running back, trying to get out of bounds past the 20-yard line. And once again, successful run by Van Dusen. Down to 15.5 seconds in the second quarter.
Yeah, pretty decent job by that Orangeville defense there. Come up with the tackle on Van Dusen, and big third down here for the Cougars. You saw Murphy Myers drop back, roll out, and then he just kind of hands it off, trying to trick that defense a little bit into thinking it's a passing play, and hands it off to Van Dusen. But good job by Orangeville. They were not fooled.
Murphy Myers takes the snap to Van Dusen once again up the middle, trying to charge to the end zone, cuts to the left, into the end zone, touchdown! Chatham-Kent Cougars, Colton Van Dusen. And the Cougars take the lead back with 8 seconds left in the first half. It's a 12-7 lead for Chatham-Kent.
That's a beautiful job by the Cougars. Under a minute to play in the first half, after punt return for a touchdown for Orangeville. They gave the Outlaws all the momentum in this football game after it seemed like the Cougars had control, and the Cougars responded beautifully. Great job by the coaching staff with that trick play call, and then a couple nice calls here down in the Outlaws territory, and Chatham-Kent regains the lead. That, to me, was a very big drive to end this half here for Chatham-Kent.
A renewed sense of confidence on offense here for the Cougars. All the way down, they march down the field, and it's going to be another point tacked on. A successful point after, and it is a 13-7 lead for the Cougars with just 8 seconds to go until halftime. So what a turn of events in one drive here. That was the most flawless offensive drive, bar none, by far, for the Cougars in this game.
Yeah, big chunk plays there, and really fueled by that trick play that the Cougars coaching staff called after the timeout. Beautifully done. I like that they didn't just sit back on their heels and kind of, play it conservatively. They went for it. They were confident in the players. And a lot of times the players will respond in that. You show them the confidence in their ability, they'll respond and show you why they believe in you. And that was beautifully done there by the Cougars. Getting points on the board, that was big for Chatham-Kent.
See if that's a turning point and they can maybe change the momentum in their thinking in the second half. We'll see if they can carry this through halftime. There is still 8 seconds to go, and they've got to take care of business on the kick and the coverage until we officially get to halftime. 13-7 lead for the Cougars in this semifinal playoff game. Entertaining half of football. And they will boot this one high in the air. Bounces once, picked up by the boys in red. and up to midfield, just into Cougar territory as they fall forward to about the 52-yard line of Chatham-Kent. Just 1.6 seconds left on the clock. So there is time for one more play here for the Orangeville Outlaws. So the Cougars will
reaching our halfway point here.
Try and get through this one play, get into halftime with the lead at 13-7.
Yeah, if you're the Cougars right now, you want to make sure that you're playing deep. Nobody gets behind you. No big plays here on this last final play of the first half.
And they will keep it on the ground. Orangeville will along that far side as the horn sounds for the end of the first half. And the Cougars bring down Orangeville to officially wrap up the second quarter. And a nice job on offense. That last touch by the Cougars. They get another major score. And it's 13-7 for the Cougars in this semifinal heading to halftime. Underway in the second half of the semifinal game. The Cougars up 13-7 as we start off quarter number 3. Late afternoon here in Chatham-Kent. And the Cougars will have the football to start off quarter number 3, trying to add on here. But a great way to end off the first half for the Cougars on offense as we saw some change up on the offensive plays. And they really executed them flawlessly to take the lead back.
Yeah, crunch time there to end the first half. Under a minute to go. The Cougars got the football, pulled out a nice big trick play, got some good yardage, kept the drive going, and eventually Van Duzen ran it in for a touchdown to regain the lead here for the Cougars. Big momentum swinger coming right after Orangeville had just put up their first points of the game on a touchdown, punt return for a touchdown. So back and forth there right at the end of the first half. And Cougars get the football to start the second half, try to continue that momentum to finish off that second quarter.
Fake handoff, quarterback still has it, and now along the far side of the football field, finds a seam along that far sideline, and some big-time yardage picked up to the 50-yard line of Orangeville. And a big run, nice second effort for the Cougars as they try to continue this momentum from the end of the second quarter. Big-time first down here for Chatham-Kent, past midfield.
Another big run from Colton Van Duzen. Boy, oh boy, is he driving the train on this offense, I tell you. Racking up the yardage on the ground in the first half, and boy, not missing a beat to start the second half. Big, big run on the very first play of the second half. Nice to see there from big number 9 in this Cougars offense.
Up to the 50-yard line for the Cougars. First and 10. Murphy Myers looking to pass along that far side and almost intercepted, but it goes over a couple of heads. Intended for Judah Fitch along the far sideline, but overthrown, and luckily overthrown over the defender from Orangeville as well. Second and 10 coming up here for Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, Fitch trying to climb the ladder, but not enough steps on that ladder. That one, boy, at least a foot over his outstretched hand, so live to see another down.
Very nice evening here in Chatham-Kent for this semifinal for the Bantam squad for the Cougars. Nice campaign here from 2022. Murphy Myers to the air, and again, this was significantly overthrown as he had a decent chance to find his receiver, Finn Reeb, along the far sideline once again, but he overthrows Reeb and the defender too. So a couple of incomplete passes here. Now you're at 3rd and 10, still at the Cougars' 50-yard line.
Yeah, Finn Reeb in double coverage there. That ball overthrown, I mean, that's a safe spot to throw it. It's going to be a tough ball to fit in there between the two defenders, so not a bad idea to overthrow that and get to 3rd down.
Now they hand it off on 3rd and 10 up the middle, trying to churn the legs to get first down yardage, but only getting to midfield. And a 5-yard pickup will bring down a 4th and 6. situation here for the Cougars. So interesting decision coming up here, but they are going to elect to kick it away as the personnel changes up. And the Cougars will punt this one back to Orangeville.
Yeah, interesting there. The Cougars chose to go to the air on 1st and 2nd down, and then 3rd and long, they keep it on the ground and come up short and decide to punt it away.
(13-7) lead for the Cougars. So now the defense will try and stop their opponent here when they get the football back. Orangeville, as they punt it away, fielded, well, not so cleanly along that far sideline. It will be Orangeville football, but a good kick by the Cougars will take him back to close to the 20-yard line. So good kick there by the Cougars, good coverage. And now it's the defense's turn for Chatham-Kent to keep this a 13-7 game.
Yeah, Judah Fitch put a good foot into that. Got a nice bounce, and that's how you flip the field right there. Special teams so important. The return man for Orangeville struggled to scoop that up cleanly, forced to fall on it to maintain possession, and Cougars do a good job here, forcing Orangeville back into their own territory.
Up to around the 25-yard line. Closing in on 3 minutes played in this third quarter. And on the ground, the football remains for Orangeville. Good job by the Cougars on their first defensive assignment of this drive. Only about a yard pickup for Orangeville. 2nd and 9 coming up.
Nice job there, Hunter Stover with the tackle on the big man. That was big number 97, Tyler Fagan with the carry. At running back, not many wear 97. He's a load. He plays along the line, but gets a carry there.
Here's the quarterback, Pryor, going to the air, and it's intercepted by the Cougars. Wide open. It's the INT now trying to run it back. Still on his feet along the far sideline, and finally edged out of bounds. But a great INT for the Cougars. And a timely one, and now they have it very deep in Orangeville territory.
Number 19 with the pick there. That's Finn Reeb. Comes up with the interception. Just a ball that was off target, I think. Fib Reed just standing there. He's gladly take it, makes the grab, and then a nice return after the pick. And the Cougars knocking on the door here. And that you take it back to the punt where the Cougars really pinned Orangeville deeper in their own territory, and now they come up with the interception. Great field position.
And no one was around Reeb. That was an easy pick for him. And the Cougars are at around the 10-yard line to start off this drive. Deep in Orangeville territory, they go to the air into the end zone jump ball, and Reeb was the intended receiver off of his fingertips. 2nd and close to goal to go for the Cougars. Trying to get some gift points here, up 13-7 right now.
Well, again, the Cougars coaching staff going with that momentum. They think we just got a big play, come up with the interception. Let's go for the jugular. Let's go to the end zone. See if we can't put a score up right away and really capitalize on this momentum. But as you mentioned, Reeb just not able to pull that in with the one-handed attempt.
Murphy Myers takes the snap, looks downfield once again. Again, a passing play into the end zone. A touchdown on 2nd and goal. This time brought in by Finn Reeb. He gets it, and 6 more points for the Cougars as they lead 19-7.
Boy, that was beautifully done. The Cougars coaching staff not afraid to take shots at all. 2nd down, they go to the air again. And again, Finn Reeb able to pull that one in. That was a beautifully thrown ball there by Murphy Myers. Put it right on the hands of Reeb. No problems pulling it in. And the Cougars coming up with some big plays.
They're getting the confidence back, and now before the kick happens, play is blown, and this will be a penalty against the Cougars to come back 5 more yards. But now you can tell the Cougars are feeling it. Both sides of the football, as you mentioned, Mike, since the latter part of the second quarter.
Yeah, definitely. I love the response from the Cougars. You know, they trailed for the very first time. Again, they had the momentum in the first half. They really seemed to have control of this football game. They were running the football effectively. They just weren't finishing with points. But, boy, did the Cougars ever respond to close out that first half, and now once again early in this second half.
Carlos Matos with the try for another point, and it is up and good. It is a 20-7 lead for the Cougars. 2 straight touchdowns for Chatham-Kent, and now they have a comfortable-ish lead almost midway through this third quarter. Off the touchdown for the Cougars. The subsequent kickoff to Orangeville. Good coverage again on special teams for the Cougars. Very good up to the 50-yard line. So decent field position here for the Outlaws. But now they've got some work to do after really a stellar defense throughout the afternoon for the Cougars. And Chatham-Kent up 20-7.
Yeah, good coverage there. Hunter Stover, good tackle. Number 7, the Cougars go with that little squib kick. We'll see how this Cougars defense comes out fired up now. They really impressed me in that first half. Some really, really big plays. Jude Sherborne already has at least 3 sacks from that first half. He's put tons of pressure into the backfield.
And a fellow who's had a pretty good football game so far, carry for Carson Pedry, Lucas Carson Pedry with that assignment. And he gets close to 5 yards, about 4.5 yards on that run. So second down coming up here for Orangeville. In a 20-7 lead as we're approaching 7 minutes to go in the third quarter.
You know what I like about Sherborne's game as well, as I'm talking about number 2, is his hustle. That play comes to the opposite side. He gets into the backfield, he gets pressure, but the plays come in the opposite way. He tracks down the running back from behind. He's the one that actually made that tackle downfield.
Here comes another big run, and this could be a huge run for Orangeville all the way down the field, and a touchdown-saving tackle for Chatham-Kent inside the 10-yard line, but another huge run for Carson Pedry. Lucas Carson Pedry kicked it into another gear, past everybody, and it took a touchdown-saving tackle for the Cougars deep in their own zone to keep it a 27 lead at this point anyway.
Wyatt Cross with some good hustle to save the touchdown there. We'll see if it pays off, but number 10 for the Cougars turning on the Jets to chase down the Orangeville back.
And a good job on the Cougar D that time as another running play for Orangeville. That time once again, that's Jake Henry.
These guys are really
Jake Henry on that assignment.
This is good.
And now the Cougars defense want to tighten up a little bit.
Let's hear
Deep
football fans.
into Cougar territory. They have a 20-7 lead over Orangeville right now. Trying to keep Orangeville out of the end zone. And another running play and another great job by the Cougar D to have Orangeville get absolutely nowhere. Looks like they went backwards by a yard or two. And now that'll bring up third down and goal from about the 9-yard line, it appears.
Couple Cougars in there to make that stop, including Cole Kestelin, number 30. Good job to wrap up the back. Not let them get any momentum towards that goal line.
Here's a big third down play for both sides of the football. Under 5 to go. And now it is batted down by the Cougars, incomplete. And as you just praised him there, Jude Sherborne, Mike, with that play. And now fourth down coming up for Orangeville.
Big fourth down here. Huge. Huge for both sides, Mike. Huge for both sides. Cougars with that 20-7 lead. Lots of time left in this football game. Still in the third quarter. But you can certainly feel the intensity of this playoff matchup between these two squads.
Semi-final match. It has been a good one. 4:52 to go in the third quarter.
And they're going to go for the field goal.
And the Outlaws are going to try and make it a 20-10 game. And this one is... Did it get through? It looked like it got through.
Football here today. Let's hear it out there. Those boys are working hard in the heat. Fireball.
And the Cougars did a great job on defense to minimize the Orangeville drive. With under 5 to go, 4:48 to go in the third quarter. Cougars still with a handsome lead.
Keeps everybody healthy.
So 20-10 now. The Orangeville Outlaws shave the Cougars' lead a little bit, but still up by 10. Cougars get the football back. 4:48 to go in the third quarter. A 20-10 lead for the Cougars. And again, all things considered, great job by the defense in that last drive to keep Orangeville to just 3 points and still enjoy a 10-point lead right now. So the Cougars working well on both sides of the football.
Yeah, and you know what? That just brings us back to that play by Wyatt Cross, who chased the running back down and saved the touchdown with that tackle from behind. Number 10 got on his horse, showed that speed, made the tackle, and saved for at least 3 points on the board, forcing them to go for that field goal.
And a little fumble there for the Cougars. They still keep possession. A little flip play along that far side. And this will turn into some positive yards along that far sideline past the 50-yard line. Great recovery for the Cougars. And Colton Van Dusen taking that shovel pass and getting some big yards, enough to move the chain. So what looked to be a bit of a bobble, and it could have been unfortunate for the Cougars. They turned it into a first down run. Good job by Colton Van Dusen to turn that one into a big positive play.
And a heads-up play by Murphy Myers to just decide, you know what, I'm going to get rid of this football, put it in the hand of our workhorse, Van Dusen. And then Murphy Myers, to his credit, got on his horse and tried to get out in front of him to throw a block. So nice improvisation there from the Cougars offense.
Under 4 to play in this third quarter. Cougars up by 10 with the football. And a fresh set of downs. Murphy Myers will hand it off to Van Dusen once again. Van Dusen finds a seam along that far side. Close to a first down. He might be a yard shy, but at least a 9-yard run for Van Dusen, getting up to the 50-yard line. So again, he does not slow down. It looks like he's even getting stronger as this game goes on.
And that's what the good backs do, right? They get stronger as the game goes on. They just continue to punish the defense, and that's exactly what it looks like number 9 is doing to Orangeville. He's just punishing them every time he gets the football. He's always falling forward. We keep seeing him get extra yards after contact. He's tough to bring down, and he's got good speed too. So yeah, number 9 is really gaining some momentum here.
Second down, about a yard and a half to go here for the Cougars, and 2 flags come flying out before the play gets going. And you think that's going to be a 5-yard infraction against Chatham-Kent. We'll see what the official call is. So it'll turn it into a 2nd and 6 play coming up now as the football comes right back to midfield.
I'll give you credit for that one, Mike. I actually thought it was Orangeville that had jumped, but you had said it was the Cougars. You were right.
Doesn't happen often, so I'll take it. Here's Murphy Myers looking downfield, going to the air. He's going deep. He's got him, man, and just through the hands of the intended receiver, Finn Reeb, who had some pretty good speed downfield, and really, he had the football. It just fell right between his hands, and unfortunate there for the Cougars. So now 3rd and 6 is coming up from midfield.
Oh, Reeb had split the defense on the back end, and his quarterback put the ball right on the money. Beautiful throw by Murphy Myers, and Reeb just couldn't squeeze it.
Here's a big play for both sides. 2.5 to go in this third quarter. Cougars up by 10. A 20-10 score in this semifinal game. Murphy Myers hands it off. And up the gut they go. They get, it looks like, enough for a first down from this angle. It's going to be awfully close. But now it looks like they got enough to move the chains by about a yard. Another good run up the middle for the Cougars. And, yep, it is now official. Another first down run for Chatham-Kent. So that was huge on 3rd and 6.
Boy, that's nice, isn't it? You can try some passing plays, and then you get into trouble, and then you've got number 9 to hand the ball off to bail you out. Colton Van Dusen is racking up the yards today and punishing defenders along the way.
So the offense keeps it rolling here. 1:37 and counting to go in quarter number 3. Cougars looking to tack on to their 10-point lead from the 47. Murphy Myers again hands it off to the running back. Little cut along the near side trying to turn the corner, and he does. Some positive plays. Another big one, and up to the 30-yard line. Colton Van Dusen just keeps getting stronger as this third quarter rolls right along. Looked like he might have been in trouble as he approached the line of scrimmage from the backfield, but he was able to turn their corner and gain steam, and what a run that was for Van Dusen up to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to take him off the field here, give him a bit of a breather, and yeah, that's understandable. Boy, he's been a workhorse here for this Cougars offense.
Give him a breather until the fourth quarter. They'll need him down the stretch. 42 seconds, clock remaining going here late in this third quarter. Murphy Myers under center takes the snap and hands it off to the running back, number 10 this time in the backfield. A little bit of trouble. Second effort. Good job. Cuts to the center of the field, to the right side of the field. He's got some room. Heading to the end zone. It is a touchdown for the Cougars. Welcome in Wyatt Cross. He gets 6 points. And, oh, my, we sing the praises of Van Dusen. He goes to the sideline for a breather. And what does Cross do? He scores 6.
Wyatt Cross showed us his speed when he chased down that back for Orangeville to save a touchdown. Wyatt Cross just showed you that speed again and elusiveness to take it to the house. Wyatt Cross, number 10. Beautiful play. He's got the Jets, and he showed it to you again right there. What a run by Wyatt Cross.
Massive run, a 26-10 lead now for the Cougars. 18 seconds to go in the third quarter. Cougars trying to tack one on here, too, to make it a 17-point lead. The kick is up, and the kick is good. It is now a 27-10 lead for the Chatham-Kent Cougars in this Bantam semifinal on home turf here this afternoon. And they just keep finding the big plays and keeping their offensive drives going here. So it looked a little bit shaky earlier on in this football game. It was a 7-6 lead earlier on for Orangeville. And you didn't really know where this one was going to go, but right since that point, it's been all Chatham-Kent. And you kind of knew from the first quarter the turnovers hurt them quite a bit, but you knew they were just on the verge of breaking out and taking control of this football game, and it's looking like they're doing just that late in this third quarter. They're making the plays. They're hanging on to the football. That's the big thing now.
It almost feels like, looking back on it now, that Orangeville touchdown sparked something inside of these Cougars. You know, Chatham-Kent, like we said, seemed like they had control of this football game, but it wasn't resulting in points. They were up 6-0. They had missed an extra point, and then it just felt like they just couldn't finish off drives. And then Orangeville scored that punt return touchdown, and it just felt like it sparked something in the Cougars.
The kick back to Orangeville. They pick it up at their own 30-yard line, and they run it back. They're at the 50 and brought down just inside the 50-yard line with the 11.9 seconds to go in this third quarter. So some good field position starting off this drive now upcoming for Orangeville, the 51-yard line, down by 17. So again, we've seen the Cougar defense do a great job all through the game, and they're going to try and do the same right here. But good run back for Orangeville. From the 51, which could be the last play of the third quarter, up it goes, and another almost INT. So close to a turnover, but dropped by the Cougars at around the 45-yard line. Trying to see which defender that was over there on the other side of the field, but so very close to another pick for Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, that was, boy, I'm the same as you, Mike. I was trying to get a number there on the defender for the Cougars that had that in their hands and just dropped it, just couldn't hold on. It pulled it into the body, and then it just came loose and hit the ground. I want to say it might have been Finn Reeb who was out there that might have had that one and just couldn't hold on to it. He plays defensive back as well as wide receiver.
Now officially underway in the fourth quarter as they have switched sides. And on second down, another good job. Great penetration by the front men of the Cougar D. That front line into the backfield quickly. And backwards the ball comes about 2 yards on the loss. So now 3rd and 12 for Orangeville. And it doesn't matter which side of the football the Cougars are on. They are gaining strength as this football game wears on here tonight.
Big number 70, Cameron Volek, coming up with a tackle. Tell me Volek doesn't sound like a football name.
And a lineman, too.
Yeah, no doubt.
3rd and 12 for Orangeville. They go to the air, up the middle and off the fingertips. And on the turf, incomplete, as that one intended for White Chantry, Tyler White Chantry, the intended receiver. And it was just a bit too far for him to handle.
Boy,
so now 4th and 12 coming up, Mike.
That was close to being a big play there from Orangeville, because if he could pull that in, looked like he had some real estate in front of him. Looked like it was a catchable ball, but falls incomplete.
And down by 17 in the final quarter. Options are kind of running out here for the Orangeville Outlaws, so they go for it on 4th and long. They'll go to the ground along that far side, trying to get that 4th down yardage, and a nice tackle along that far side inside the 50 by Chatham-Kent. Will turn over the football on downs back to Chatham-Kent. And that looked like a good run there for Orangeville. They might have had the chance to get that 1st down yardage on 4th and 12, but a good tackle at that last minute for Chatham-Kent. And leaves Orangeville a couple of yards short. So back on offense go the Cougars.
I'm wondering if that was Luca Formosa with the tackle on the far side. I'm with you, Mike. I thought that was going to go for a 1st down. And a little trickery there from Orangeville. They go with the reverse. Looked like there was a whole bunch of real estate there and maybe just one Cougar defender there to make the tackle. And great job making that solo tackle and getting the ball back to the Cougars offense.
$10:15 and counting to go in the fourth quarter. Cougars up by 17 and with the football. Bit of a low snap, but dug back out, and they hand it off to the running back going nowhere. That one, it was Cole Kestelin with that running assignment. And the front line of Orangeville able to get in the backfield pretty quickly. So a big drop here for the Cougars. Maybe a 6 or 7 yard drop on that play.
Yeah, big loss there. Big loss in yardage for the Cougars on first down. But big thing here is eating away that clock. 9:34 and counting here in this football game, up 17 points.
Second and a long way for the Cougars. They keep it on the ground and back past the 50-yard line, trying to muscle his way to the 55. Back in the football game is Colton Van Dusen. After a bit of a rest on the sideline, he's back in the football game, and he gets some yardage up to midfield. So still some work to do. Third down, and about 7, maybe 8 yards to go here for Chatham-Kent. But now you want to just get as much clock time off as you can.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a nice run there from Van Dusen. You know, you were second and 15. Now you're third and about 8. So pick up about 7 yards there on that play, and I'd say you feed Van Dusen again.
Third down. This time they're going to go to the air down the middle of the field and almost picked off. That one overthrown by Murphy Myers and almost picked off along the near side of the field. And looks like that was Leah Rowe, the 29, who almost had the pick. But unfortunately for the Cougars, falls incomplete. So now fourth and about 8 coming up here. 8:32 to go in the fourth quarter. So the Cougars will boot this one away and leave it back up to the defense.
I believe that pass intended for Judah Fitch. But as you mentioned, Mike, great coverage there from Orangeville. And fortunate that one wasn't nearly picked off.
Now not punting it away. And look at this on fourth down. Are they going to get enough to get a first down? It looks like that is in fact the case. Judah Fitch on fourth down and 8. Fitch had enough to run for, it appears, a first down. I'm not sure if we've had the official word yet. But
yeah, I think
ankle,
you're right, Mike. I think that was enough for the first down.
By this, by this angle, it looks like you got enough.
And going to be interesting here. Let me see. I don't know about that, where that spot was. That didn't look like the same area. Obviously, we're on the far side of the field, so we don't have the vantage point that the officials do. But boy, it looks like we had a flag on the play.
I didn't see a flag, but now they're putting the football back to the 45-yard line, and I think they're going to do fourth down all over again.
Yeah. Well, boy, that was a great effort by Fitch. He just had trouble getting the ball out of his hands to try and punt it away, so he just tucked it and ran. Didn't see what the flag was there, but as you mentioned, Mike, they put it back to fourth down again.
So here's another chance for the punt. And this time he'll get it away. High in the air. And went over the would-be return man. And now can the Cougars get it back? And I think they fell on it. The return team couldn't do much with that football. They fumbled. A couple of players couldn't pick it up. And the Cougars swarm in. And I think Chatham-Kent hangs on to the football.
I think the question is going to be, was it touched by Orangeville before the Cougars jumped on it? We saw the one return man stick his hands up to make an attempt, but I don't know that the ball was touched. Yeah, they're going to say it's Orangeville football because the Orangeville team did not touch that football.
It was awfully close. So a lucky streak there for Orangeville, the Outlaws, to keep the football. Clock is back running, 7:45 to go in the fourth quarter. 27-10 lead for Chatham-Kent. Outlaws back on offense. They will keep it on the ground. Another great job on the defense for the Cougars. And Jude Sherborne was right there to take down his man for a sizable loss. Second and at least 15 coming up here for Orangeville.
Sherborne just making himself comfortable in the Orangeville backfield. Been there all game long and continues here in the fourth quarter with another big play.
Second and 15 here for Orangeville. Cougars fans getting excited late in this football game. There is a completed pass along the near side, as that one is hauled in by big number 43, Carson Pedri, again with the reception, but he doesn't get very far.
Good tackle by Carlos Matos there.
I think only a pickup of a yard, I believe.
Yeah, not a lot of yardage there at all.
Under 6.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Orangeville does not have much time. And off the snap, nowhere to go. Again, a swarming D for the Cougars. And another loss of yardage. They get stronger as the game goes on. And the home crowd can certainly feel it in the air tonight. 6 to go in this fourth quarter. The semifinal game. The Bantam Cougars with a 17-point lead. And now fourth and a long way to go for Orangeville on their heels right now. As they go on the ground. And again, not much there. Cougars wrap them up.
Orangeville trying to trick the Cougars with a fake punt there, but good coaching there from the Cougars staff. Making sure the players were aware that a fake could be coming, and great coverage there by Chatham-Kent.
And that was going to be a penalty against Orangeville. It's declined, and the ball goes back to the Chatham-Kent Cougars. Under 6 to go, 5:46 in the fourth quarter, and the Cougars in control, a 17-point lead at 27-10 as they look to punch their ticket to the finals in the Bantam class of the OSFL. It's been a great run the last few weeks for these Bantam kids of the Cougars.
Yeah, Cougars playing some good football right when you want them to be peaking, if you will, at the end of the season. And just a great team effort here tonight, right? We've seen some good football on both the offensive and defensive side. Defense has been lights out, and this Cougars offense just seems to be getting better and better as this game goes on.
Murphy Myers, again, can't hang on to the football. He fumbles the snap, and unfortunately he's able to go back and fall on it, so the Cougars will remain in possession of the football. But they drop quite a bit of yardage, 5:16 and counting to go in the fourth quarter. But right now it's just a matter of getting that time off the clock as quickly as possible with a 17-point lead. Second down, Murphy Myers looking to go to the air. He gets the pass away, and it's incomplete. Falls to the turf, so now third and a long way to go here for the Cougars with 4:41 to go.
Hard to see the ending of that play there. We've got the sun directly in our eyes here.
It's an absolutely beautiful day, but from our vantage point, the sun little bit tricky to deal with at this time of the day. Not a cloud in the sky, though. Absolutely beautiful weekend here in CK. Now third down for the Cougars. 17-point lead. Trying to keep this drive rolling. This time they'll keep it on the ground once again, and This time, not really anywhere to go for Colton Van Dusen, who's had a marvelous game. Van Dusen just couldn't shake the D there. And this will bring up 4th down and quite a bit of yardage to go. A long way to go for Chatham-Kent. 4:08 remaining in this 4th quarter.
And you've got to imagine Cougars going to punt this one away, and they're making the substitutions to do exactly that. Did a good job taking some time off the clock. 4:08 to play in this football game, up 17 points. Now, if they're able to, I'd say they've probably advised their kicker to maybe directional kick this one towards the sideline, not allow for any kind of a big return.
Line drive kick along the near side, bouncing around the 22-yard line, picked up by Orangeville, and they run it back to around the 35. So a 13-yard return for Orangeville. Good coverage by the Cougars on special teams. And 3:42 remain in the 4th quarter. 27-10 for the Cougars as they're starting to feel it now. Game's certainly not over yet, but they've gotten stronger. Offense, defense, special teams, especially right from the last part of the 2nd quarter through this entire 2nd half. It has really been all Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, they've really done a nice job here. Really sound football. Right there, that's exactly how you draw it up on special teams. Directional kick toward the sideline, hem them in, good coverage, make the sure tackle. Nothing for Orangeville to build momentum on.
Pass along that far side, and doesn't look like Orangeville on offense was really on that same page on that play, as it was slightly overthrown. Falls incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up for Orangeville, for Aiden Pryor and the rest of the offense. For the visitors from Orangeville, not an easy task now, down by 17 and just over 3 minutes to work with in this semifinal game. The Bantam division of the OSFL semifinal here tonight, and a great showing by the Chatham-Kent Cougars on their home turf, and this one will have a flag or two down.
Somebody moved early, just a matter of which color.
It looks like it's going to go against Orangeville. Orangeville keeps it on the ground. Another good job by the Cougars to snuff out that play. And once again, Lucas Carson Pedri with that running play, and the Cougars denying him. 3rd down and a long way to go here for Orangeville. Time running out on their afternoon and their season. 2:48 as the clock is wound once again. 27-10 for the Cougars.
And you hear that 3-minute warning, the 3 whistles. Music to the ears of the Cougars, getting closer to the end of this football game.
Quarterback trying to get it out of his hands, but the Cougar defense too unrelenting. And another quarterback sack. Aiden Pryor doesn't have much time at all to react and get that football out of his hands. And he's brought down well behind the line of scrimmage once again. And now well after the play, a flag comes flying out in the middle of the Orangeville huddle of players there. So we'll see what that call is.
Looked like it was Jude Sherborne and Keegan Summers, big number 90, getting in there for the sack. And then there was just a little bit of a push there at the end. Looked like maybe one of the Orangeville players, a little bit of a push to one of the Cougars players. I didn't think it was going to be enough for a flag, but they're back to football now.
All the way back to the 20-yard line, 4th down, and they kick it away, brought back the other direction by the Cougars, the 45-yard line. and Finn Reeb. And Reeb has certainly had a good football game. You can say the same for a number of Cougars players on both sides of the ball in offense and defense. Certainly, I'm sure the one fella who sticks out is Colton Van Dusen, number 9, on the ground. But this really has been a big team effort for the Cougars, especially in the second half.
Yeah, they've really done a nice job executing on in all facets of the football game, and that's why they lead this football game right now. They ended the first half beautifully. Again, a lot of credit to that coaching staff. They did not play it conservatively at all. They threw in a nice trick play there. They knew that they just wanted to get some points back on the board, get the momentum back on their side, and then in the second half, they did a great job coming out basically guns a-blazing and putting more points on the board, and they just snatched the momentum in this football game, took it back, and have held it ever since.
Right at midfield, 2:22 to go in this one. 17-point lead for the Cougars. And they're just going to get this time off the clock as they head it off to Van Dusen once again. Nowhere to go. In fact, I think he drops a couple of yards. 2nd and 12 coming up for the Cougars.
And now the Cougars now just looking to milk this clock down, right? Van Dusen just running it up between the tackles. Not a lot of room there. But the clock will continue to tick now with that whistle, and we'll soon get under 2 minutes to play.
It's time to zoom, everybody!
Second down for the Cougars. Once again, going to the ground. Now the ball comes loose. Might have been after the whistle. Comes back to the 50-yard line. So now 3rd down for Chatham-Kent. Certainly not about the yards or the points right now. It's all about just getting the clock down as fast as possible. 17-point lead for the Cougars in this semifinal game. Looking to move on to the finals in the Bantam division. And a great run towards the end of this 2022 season for the Bantam squad of the Cougars. Looking to keep it rolling. 90 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. Murphy Myers, this time looking back to pass. Now he's got lots of orange jerseys in front of him. And this will be a sack behind the 45-yard line to about the 44-yard line. And 1:22 remaining in the 4th quarter. I'm sure for the Cougars this seems like it's taking an eternity, but a 17-point cushion.
Murphy Myers just taking a knee there. He took a big shot there on that tackle. Trainer's going to come out and give him a look, but he got wrapped up and thrown down to the turf pretty violently, so we'll have a brief timeout here while the trainers tend to him, and he walks off the field under his own power, which is nice to see.
Fourth and a long way. The Cougars punted away, and now it was touched by Orangeville. And did the Cougars hop on it? I think they did. Another miscue on special teams receiving for Orangeville. And this time it was touched off the fingertips of the return man, and there are the Cougars to hop on it. And they will ice this football game away here with getting the football back at the midfield, right at the 55-yard line. And we talked about the miscues for the Cougars very early on in this game, the fumbles and such. But now it's been the miscues for the other side in Orangeville, and the Cougars are taking advantage and really putting this one away late.
And that one, courtesy of Wyatt Cross, number 10. Another big play for Wyatt Cross, number 10. As that's probably about 3 or 4 big plays for him in this football game. Big touchdown run, big touchdown saving tackle. There comes up with the football to prevent any kind of a, last-minute attempt from Orangeville to make this one interesting. And this is going to give the Cougars, as you mentioned, a chance to salt this one away here, run it out with the victory formation.
And Cross with, I'd say, a very quiet, very strong game. There's been a lot of his teammates that have really shone in this game, but Cross has had a quiet, strong game for the Cougars.
Yeah, he has. He really has. Great performance from number 10.
68 seconds remaining in this one. In this semifinal, Cougars moving on, and now they're preparing for the victory, just taking a knee. And they're going to put this one away. Off to the finals. And the Bantams for the Cougars. Not easy through the regular season from start to finish, but they got things together when they needed to. And a nice late season, postseason run here for the Bantams. And this is a massive win in front of a great crowd here on their home field. Beautiful afternoon of football. And so everything coming together. And these guys are still young enough that they've got a lot of time left in this organization.
Yeah, they certainly do. This is under 14, right? So another 4 years to contribute to Cougars football.
Now the Cougars fans starting to realize we're almost at the end of the game, and it's going to be a run to the championship, a semifinal win for the Cougars. Some handshakes going on the line.
Come on, Cougar fans, let's see some football!
One more play to salt this one away, and a semi-final win for the Cougars, 27-10. They beat the Orangeville Outlaws in the under-14 Bantam division of the OSFL.
The last Sunday in July, 2022.
What a great game for the Cougars.
Take care of everybody tonight.
Good energy in the stadium, and they win convincingly, 27-10 over Orangeville. Great football game.
Beautifully played football game. And you know what? It was tight. I mean, halftime, the last minute of the first half, Orangeville led this one 7-6. Cougars score, take the lead back, and then it was all Cougars second half. Entertaining playoff football. Great crowd here. Great atmosphere here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. If you haven't had a chance to come out and watch some football out here, it is a lot of fun. The fans really enjoying it, taking it in, and of course, a home playoff victory makes it that much sweeter.
A 21-3 run for the Cougars, primarily through the second half, ices this one away in the semifinals. It is a convincing win for the Cougars, a Bantam win over the Orangeville Outlaws. Keep an eye on the social media channels and the website for the Cougars as they march on in the summertime of 2022. Again, the final score, the Cougars 27, and the visitors from Orangeville, the Outlaws, 10. On behalf of cameraman Jeff Brooks, and he does a lot more than the camera. He does everything for us.
Brooksy does. He sets us up sweet.
He is the broadcast. Thanks to Jeff. Thanks to Mike James. My name is Mike Renier. We will talk to you again soon through the 2022 OSFL season and the Chatham-Kent Cougars.